Look at the data that's out there. Look at what we read about in the newspaper every day. About 3 times the number of officers die annually as a result of suicide than being killed in the line of duty.
So I made it my mission to make sure that I do everything in my power so that our brothers and sisters no longer have to suffer in silence.
Mental health, when it comes to law enforcement, is a very heavy topic. It's heavy from so many different perspectives.
You know, there's a culture like I'm not going to talk about things, you know, there's some stigma here, you know, I don't want to look weak. So how do we break through some of these barriers? I think by talking. Let's talk about mental health issues. Let's talk about officer suicides.
So some of the first people I went to when I had this idea were our peer supporters.
So in peer support, we have many tools that we utilize, one of them being a debrief after a major critical incident. The debrief that we utilize here in South Carolina is a networking program through multiple agencies throughout the state. It's led by SC LEAP, which is the South Carolina Law Enforcement Assistance Program, that allows our people the chance to start processing the scene that they've been through. And it's the beginning of an amazing healing process for tons of cops.
When I talked to them about this, and I said, what do you think about, let's go a step further, let's mandate this, I got nothing but support. I contacted Dr. Mullis, I had her come in and do a presentation, and part of their programs include mandating mental health checkups annually for people.
People don't necessarily have inherent resilience, the ability to bounce back, but they can be trained, and that's what we do.
I think when you make sure that your officers are healthy and they understand that there's outlets and resources available to them, it brings a better employee to the job every day.
What we have found with the relationships that we're developing, they trust us, they trust in the relationship, the confidentiality, and maybe 6 months from now, an officer may come back and say, you know, I think I'm really starting to have some problems. You know, I need to come back in for an appointment, and they reach out and come back, and I think that is a huge win.
If we can save one person, it is money well spent.
We have a profession where we can't do it alone. Everything that we do depends on the citizens of Charleston County.
You know, when it comes to citizens, that's where we get our information from. So for the most part, just trust, like establishing the relationships and trust to where people can feel comfortable as far as coming to Charleston County Sheriff's Office to get information and not feel awkward, because a lot of people view cops as the principal of society, and that's not actually the case. Yes, we do have a job to do as far as law enforcement officials, but we're part of the community.
There's this us versus them mentality, but we don't want that. We don't want that separation. We want people who look like the community to be in the community and serve the community. And in order to do that, we need to build these relationships and build that trust.
We have a program where initiative is basketball after dark, and that's basically when Charleston County deputies go within the community throughout the county, whether it's kids or whether it's adults, and to engage in a very, very friendly, competitive game of basketball. And we have the back to school bash. That's the last hoorah before kids go back to school, where they actually get the chance to positively interact with law enforcement from Charleston County Sheriff's Office.
Service beyond the call is something that I believe almost all of us have always been doing within law enforcement. We just never realized it. We work in an atmosphere of statute code that is very easy to work by. But once we get done with that part of the job, then we become human, and we look at our communities, we look at our neighbors, and we see what they need to be more successful.
It shows that we definitely want to be in a situation where we're working towards problem solving. We're willing to let down walls and be vulnerable and make sure that our citizens have exactly what they need. And also it shows that we're trying to make sure that our employees have exactly what they need to be able to serve those citizens on a daily basis in a very high stress situation.
Simply put, we're cops, but we're human also.